Gopijano Balabha Girivarudhari Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Vishnupada, Prabhu Shukri, Braj, Gopal, Stotra, Shukri, Bhakti, Vedanta, Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupada, Prabhu Shukri, Braj, Gopal, Shukri, Bhakti, Siddhanta, Saraswati, Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gaur Pramanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Gaurango. All glories proper. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet Nashtoprayashu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtuki Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Shivaya Krishna Sutare Shanti Namaste Shri Guru Prashantarane. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 21. The gopis glorify Krishna's flute. Text 12. Please repeat after me. Krishnang Niriksha Vanitotsava Rupa Shilang Krishnang Niriksha Vanitotsava Rupa Shilang Srutva cha tat Kvanita Venu Viviktya Gitam Devyo Vimana Gataya Smara Nunna Sara Bhrasyat Prasuna Kabavara Mumuhur Vinivya Krishnam Niriksha Vanitotsava Rupa Shilam Srutva Chatat Kvanita Venu Vivikta Gitam Devya Vimana Gataya Smara Nunya Sara Bhrasat Prasida Kabaro Muhur Vivivya Krishnam Niriksha Varitotsava Rupa Shilam Srutva Chatat Kvanita Venu Viviksha Gitam Devya Vimana Gataya Smara Nunya Sara Bharashyat Prasuna Kavara Mumurhur Vinisha Vinivya Krishna Vindvireksha Vanitotsava Rupa Silang Srutva Chatat Kvanita Venu Viviktya Gitam Devyo Vimana Gataya Smala Nunna Sara Rasyat Prasyana Kavara Mumuru Vivivya Krishna Niriksha Vanitotsava Rupanilam Silam Srutva Chatat Nita Venu Viviktya Gitam Devyo Vimana Gataya Smarana Sara Rasya Pasura Kabara Murho Vinya Krishna, Lord Krishna, Niriksha, observing, Vanita, for all women, Utshava, a festival, Rupa, whose beauty, Shilam, and character, Srutva, hearing, Cha, and Tat, by him, Kwanita, vibrated, Venu, of the flute, Vivikta, clear, Gitam, song, Devya, the wives of the demigods, Bimana Gataya, traveling in their airplanes, Smara, by Cupid, Nunya, agitated, Sara, their hearts, Rashat, sleeping, Prasuna Kabara, the flower tied in their hair, Mumuhu, they became bewildered, Vinidya, their belts loosening. Translation. Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. Indeed, when the demigods' wives flying in the airplanes with their husbands catch sight of him and hear his resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken by Cupid and they become so bewildered that the flowers fall out of their hair and their belts loosen. Please repeat after me. Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. Indeed, when the demigods' wives flying in airplanes with their husbands catch sight of him and hear his resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken by Cupid and they become so bewildered that the flowers fall out of their hair and their belts loosen. Purport. In Krishna, the Supreme Personality Godhead, Srila Prabhupada comments, this verse indicates that the transcendental sound of the flute of Krishna extended to all corners of the universe. Also, it's significant that the gopis knew about the different kinds of airplanes flying in the sky. In fact, even while sitting on the lap of their demigod husbands, the demigoddesses became agitated by hearing the sounds of Krishna's flute. Thus, the gopis thought that they themselves should not be blamed for their ecstatic conjugal attraction for Krishna, who, after all, was a cowherd boy from their own village and thus a natural object of their love. If even demigoddesses became mad after Krishna, how could poor earthly cowherd girls from Krishna's own village avoid having their hearts completely conquered by his loving glances and the sounds of his flute? The gopis also considered that the demigods, although noting their wives' attractions to Krishna, did not become envious. The demigods are actually very refined in culture and intelligence, and therefore, when flying in their airplanes, they regularly take their wives along to see Krishna. The gopis thought, our husbands, on the other hand, are envious. Therefore, even the inferior deer are better off than we, and the demigoddesses are very fortunate, whereas we poor human beings in an intermediate position are most unfortunate. I'll read the translation again. Krishna's beauty and character create a festival for all women. Indeed, when their demigods' wives flying in an airplane with their husbands catch sight of him and hear his resonant flute song, their hearts are shaken by Cupid, and they became so bewildered that the flowers fall out of their hair and their body and their belts loosen. Om Jnanatimandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshulimritam Janarasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mayam Dadatsara Padantigam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavasya Sri Rupam Sagrayatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Purijana Shaitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lalita Sri Vishakanvitam Sya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesho Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Shute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpotari Vyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha Putitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavivyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So here Sukdev Goswami is giving the description of the gopis, how they are glorifying the Lord Krishna. And here, in this particular verse, it's mentioned that when Krishna plays the flute, and this not only it's within the material world, but also it catches the sight of all the corners of the universe. So that means the demigods flying in the sky with their wives, they can actually hear the beautiful sight of him, the beautiful sight of Lord Krishna playing the flute, and hear resonant flute song, and their hearts are shaken by the Cupid because they are so pure and so wonderful that they also become so bewildered that the flowers starts falling from their hair and their belts loosen. So here it's mentioned that the gopis also, they are also agitated by hearing. You know, they, as soon as they hear the beautiful song, the sound coming from the flutes of Lord Krishna, they come out from their house running towards to be more close to Lord Krishna's. And at that time, you know, here it's mentioned that although the wives of the demigods, the demigoddesses, they became very agitated, but their husbands, being very sober, they did not become envious. And it's mentioned that they have a refined in culture and intelligence. And therefore, so they normally, whenever they hear, when the Krishna's flute, you know, reaches this, all corners of the universe, the demigods immediately come out of in their planes along with their wives, and the wives enjoy, and the demigods also enjoy, but the wives becomes more agitated. But the demigods didn't, they do not become envious. Whereas here in the material world, the gopis, when they come out of their house, and their husbands becomes a little bit uh, envious. They become also, they were thinking why our wives are living. But this enviousness is a transcendental enviousness. It's nothing compared to like a material enviousness in this material world. Here, the material world, we are always envious of each other, and that is why we cannot actually appreciate Krishna's fruits. Also, the Krishna's fruit being is there all over the universe, yet in the material world we cannot hear this Krishna's fruit because our ears are completely blocked. Our ears are completely blocked because of our envious nature, because being conditioned by the material conditions of life. And this is, when we are in this material world, the two gunas, Rajagun and Tamagun, they completely cover our soul and creates a havoc within ourselves. That means we cannot really appreciate anything spiritual that is happening. And just like we have seen that the fire is when it's covered by the smoke, we cannot see the fire itself. Or the sun is covered by the clouds, we cannot see the sun itself. But when the clouds dissipate, then we can see the sun. So similarly, our consciousness is being covered by these three modes of material nature. And how we can then clean up the covering of from our consciousness by at least the three things we have to do. One is called Sadhu Sangha, that means the association of the devotees is very important. By associating with the devotees who are glorifying the Supreme Lord, by hearing the Supreme Lord's activities. So the number two is the hearing process, Sravanam. So Sravanam is the second most important fact, so important thing that we have to do. And third, of course, the chanting of the holy name. These three things, the chanting, hearing, and Sadhu Sangha. And that will definitely clean up our consciousness so that we can gradually see the purity of the Sadhu Sangha is the association of the devotees is necessary. And number two is the hearing of the transcendental sound vibration, hearing from the sources about the glorification of the Supreme Lord, and chanting. That means the persons who are trying to achieve the goal of hearing, appreciating, they have to chant the holy name of the Lord, Maha Mantra, and that is the process of beginning of the process of cleaning up. The first stages of cleaning up, gradually moving our covering, which is covering our consciousness. So these three things are necessary in the beginning. So how also there's in Srimad Bhagavatam it's mentioned that how we can develop the taste for hearing. And the taste for hearing we can develop is by, there is a beautiful verse called Shushrusho Shraddha Dhanusho Vasudeve Katha Ruchi. Vasudev is Krishna's name. Katha means the Krishna's sound, vibration, the flute, everything. So Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. Ruchi means the taste. So how we can acquire the taste for hearing Shushrusha Shraddha Dhanusha. With great faith, Shraddha Dhanusha, with great faith, one should hear the glorification of the Supreme Lord. Shushrusha Shraddha Dhanusha Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. And another thing one has to do, Om Mahotshavaya Vipra. That means we have to serve the devotees of the Lord. The devotees who are actually uh, giving their life completely in uh, in serving the Supreme Lord. We have to serve this. We have those who are serious about becoming more purified. They should serve those devotees by which they can. Vasudeva Katharachis Mot Shavas Dipar Punnotirtha Nishebana. Then he creates an accumulation of the good activities, which is called spiritual activities, spiritual bank balance. We can, when we accumulate enough spiritual bank balance, then we become eligible to understand or the the, the glorification of the Supreme Lord. Right now, in our conditioned stage, we may theoretically say, oh, Krishna's songs are great, Krishna's flute sound is wonderful. So we can read from the books, yes, just like we are reading, but really we cannot appreciate it because we are not realizing because of our consciousness being covered by the different modes of material nature. And in this Kali Yuga, we know that we are all mandashu mandam mataya mando bhaggo. That means we are our all the living entities. We are not at all pure. Mandashu, and our activities are also not pure. Always selfish in nature. And mando bhaggo. That means our fortune is not also very good. But of course, if by Krishna's mercy, we may have the fortune of meeting a great devotee of the Lord, Supreme Lord, and that helps us, help us to acquire a little bit of taste of the Supreme Lord. So we have to do is the Susrusha Shraddha Dhanasya Vasudeva Katha Ruchi. With great faith, we have to hear, not with...
Which verse is that? Which verse?
It says Srimad Bhagavatam, I don't know the verse number, but I think we can... 2.16? 2.16? Okay, 2.16. 2.16. No, 2.16? Okay. So we have to, we have, in Krishna Bhagavad Gita has given us many different ways how we can actually become free from our conditioned nature. And different kind of yogas are also prescribed. And so he was telling to Arjuna, these are the different types of yoga by which one can actually become free from the material conditions of life. But of all the different paths of the yoga that is described by Krishna, and the highest yoga is Bhakti Yoga. That's for sure. Yogi Nama, of all the yogis who are practicing different kinds of the type of yoga, Yogi Nama api sarvesham madgate antaratmana. What is the verse number? Do you know? Do you remember? Yogi Nama api sarvesham madgate antaratmana Sruddhavan bhajate momam jomam same yukta tamo mataha. That means of all the yogis, Yogi Nama api sarvesham, this is the topmost. Of all the yogis who are they are the topmost, who are Shraddhavan Bhajate Jomam, with great faith, who worship me. And that means one has to worship the completely free from any kind of attachment, free from karma mishrita, either it's a karma mishrita bhakti or Jnana Mishrita Bhakti, free from all the Jnana and the karma, only pure devotional sense. If he worships me, then that process, that those yogis are the topmost. Yogina is Sarvesam. Sarvesam is the topmost. So we have, and why it's being mentioned to be free from all the different kinds of conditions of nature, because we are in this material world, our desire to enjoy away from Krishna, we do not want to hear the Krishna Katha. We do not want to actively engage ourselves in devotional activities. Why? And this is a disease called Bhavo Rog. Bhavo means this material disease. Bhavo Rog means we are being completely engaged in trying to satisfy our senses rather than Krishna's senses. So that is the. So when a person is diseased, when he's sick, what he does? He goes to a doctor, and the doctor prescribes a medicine and also the diet. And doctor says to the patient, you take this medicine and you should follow this. You should not eat this, you should not eat that, you should not drink this, right? The doctor gives this. Similarly, to Bhavo Rog, to cure, one has to approach an authority. An authority means a Vaishnava or a person who has been, who knows about the spiritual, what has to be done, how one can get out of this Bhavo Rog, the disease of material disease. And he gives a prescription. And what is the prescription? Is that for medicine, he gives medicine as well as he gives a diet. And what is the medicine? Medicine is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord, and the diet is Krishna Prasadam. So one has to take Krishna Prasadam, or one has to chant the holy name of the Lord, by which one can go back to Godhead. So these are the most important thing by which one can free from Rajagun and Tamogun. The Rajagun is the mode of passion and Tamogun is the mode of ignorance. Tada rajastamo bhavo kamalubho adashay chetuyate anaviddam sitam satte prasidati. So when one becomes free from these two gunas, Rajagun and Tamogun, mode of passion and mode of ignorance, what they do actually, they create Tada rajastamo bhava kamo lobho. They actually create the greed, and so greed is, as well as the desire to enjoy material senses. So when we are free from this disease, by associating with the devotees, and then a person reaches the Satya Gun or mode of goodness. And when a person reaches this Kamalu, Chetayata Anaviddam, then all these hankering and the lamentation do not attack our heart. Hankering, lamentation, that's always there. Why? When we want something and we do not get it, we lament. When we want something for our own senses, that is hankering. Hankering for our own material senses, body. So, tadarajasthamo bhavo kamalobho adasya chetu atay anaviddham. Anaviddham means it's not going to attack our heart, because our heart is always pampered by hankering and by asking for more sense gratification, enjoy our material sensation. And when we do not get it, we become saddened and we lament when we do not get it. So persons who are thoroughly engaged in worshipping the Supreme Lord and engaging in serving the Supreme Lord as well as serving the devotees of the Lord, they actually come to the position of the Satya Gun. But of course one has to even go beyond the Satya Gun to actually become free from all the gunas in the material world. And that is happens by practicing the method as prescribed by the acharyas. Yes.
And so, anchoring, what is the definition of anchoring?
Hankering. Hankering, and hankering means one who wants to, wants more and more. Like he wants, the greed is there. The hanker means, oh, I want this one. I want bigger car. I want a bigger house. Hankering, I want more salaries, These are, I want beautiful women. I want beautiful, friends. I want all kinds of food, which.
Like, can you say like the disease of wanting more?
Yeah.
Having more desire.
More desire, material desires. It's for our own senses, So that is the difference between we can hanker for to satisfy Krishna. We can hanker for to serve the Supreme Lord. That is all right because that is a spiritual hankering. Spiritual hankering means yes. Ma'am.
Very often reciting Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami.
Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, সকলেই অশান্ত। কৃষ্ণ ভক্ত নিষ্কাম অতএব শান্ত। So it's mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bhukti means those who are hankering for material things for their own satisfaction. Mukti means those yogis who are looking for liberation. Siddhi Kami, those yogis who wants to acquire the yogic power by which they can, advertise themselves. I have done this, I've done that. And it's mentioned Chaitanya that they are all unhappy. Shokali Ashanto. Ashanto means, Shanto means happy, Ashanto means not happy. Krishna Bhakto, Nishkam. Nishkam means they were the devotee of Krishna. They do not have any kind of hankering. No hankering. So that's where they are Shanto.
So now, why I ask you this, I was always believing the yogi. How come they don't read Bhagavad Gita and they don't see what Krishna says? The Bhakti Yoga. They don't read Bhagavad Gita. They are yogi. They spend so much time meditating. But what they meditate on must be Krishna, no?
What they meditate on.
And they are all in category of this book, this.
Yeah, mukti. They are looking for mukti.
They are not intelligent to understand this.
So one has to become intelligent. One has to understand by, one can practice this method of bhakti yoga by which the dadami buddhi, Krishna says, dadami buddhi yogam tam jena mam upayantite. I give them the intelligence. So the intelligence will come from Krishna when he is satisfied. Yes.
But it's a good point that we just need to go in their cave and distribute them Bhagavad Gita as it is.
I'm sorry?
Just need to go in the Himalayan cave and distribute them Bhagavad Gita as it is.
That's what the devotees in the.
No, but like it's true. It seems like it's just that they didn't get the information. It's like when there's Muchukunda, he was like sleeping for so long,
Yeah. This,
and like he didn't wake up.
this one day, because Muchukunda was, was giving this special benediction. How long, he was asking the demigods, how long I'm going to stay. Oh, you have only few moments to leave. So immediately, he came back and spent his time in worshiping the Supreme Lord. Of course, same with.
So I was giving the example in the Krishna book when someone, a great king, he was like sleeping,
Oh yeah, uh, that king, he was giving special. He was so tired fighting for the demigods, against the demons. So the demigods asked, "What do you want?" So I want to sleep. I want to take. But if somebody disturbs me, then if I see them, they will be vanished. So that's why when Krishna was being chased by that what is his name? Kalayavan? Yeah, and he was chasing Krishna, and Krishna was always keeping a distance, and he entered the cave, and then the cave was dark, and that king was lying down, and this demon actually he kicked him, and as soon as he kicked him, he woke up and he was burned to ashes.
Krishna was hiding.
Yeah, Krishna was hiding. Yeah, you know this. That's in Krishna. Beautiful story.
So why I'm saying this is that it seems like they just need to go in their cave and wake them up,
Yeah, Jeev Jago. You have to wake.
Burned to ashes. Oh, but brother, the king got burned.
Eh?
We want to woke him up. Yeah, right. Oh, so you mean we're gonna get burned?
Kalayavan, yeah.
But it's like true. It's like most of the time it's like, are they reading the same book or they just need to get the information? That's it. No? What do you think?
No, the Bhagavad Gita, if they read it, there are so many instances. Just by reading Bhagavad Gita, people got understand, what's because whole life, whole philosophy is there. You can even ask Mataji. She got not Bhagavad Gita, but which book did you read in the hospital? Do you remember the name of the book? When you were a nurse.
Oh, yeah. I got 3 books. King of Knowledge, Science of Self-Realization, and one part of third canto Bhagavatam where creation is explained. These 3 books I got.
You see, you read any of Prabhupada's books, they are so transcendental, so pure.
But this Science of Self-Realization, this is first book I read. And I heard many devotees, they first read Science of Self-Realization. This book is distributed. When I was in Toronto, 2 years, Bhaktivinoda Swami had policy. You join, you have to go 2 years, 5 hours outside and distribute books. So we were I distributed Bhagavad Gita and Science of Self-Realization. These 2 books, because they are most like giving you entrance in Krishna consciousness.
Actually, Shivram Maharaj, in his Vyasa Puja offering, I just want to share. He was, I think, quite a few years ago, he was mentioning.
He gives sometimes Sankirtan stories on his Vyasa Puja.
Yeah, he mentioned about this particular story. Is really very nice. That there was a young girl, I think it's in Hungary or somewhere in Europe. She got a book and she brought it home. Some devotee gave it to her and she brought it home. And she was reading it. And her mother, when she found out that she's reading, they were very devout Catholic, And the mother was very upset with the daughter. He said, why are you taking this book? Why are you reading these books? And they were making a big sound. And his grandmother came down of the house. The grandmother says, what's happening? And the mother explained, look at my daughter. She is reading some book which she's not supposed to read. And the grandmother says, give me the book. Do you know this? Give me the book. So she took the book and she says, now go ahead. So the mother was happy, the daughter is not to have the book. Grandmother has the copy of the book. Now the grandmother went to her room and started reading it. After reading it, she came down and she said that, Okay, from now on, no more meat eating. Everybody just follow.
But she went to Shiva and Sky
Yeah,
to talk to him after she read it. And that's why he knows this story. And she was like, what is this?
who is this person? Yeah,
Who is this person who wrote? Yeah. Why this is not broadcast everywhere?
Like on the TV or something.
yeah. The grandmother was, yeah, so Shiva Maharaj was actually glorifying Srila Prabhupada, how Prabhupada's books has touched, They never heard of Krishna, they never heard, but yet Prabhupada's writings are so potent, so purified,
When I brought books at home and asked the people, he said, don't read these books. I have friends, we used to go every day in the take alcohol, drink something. And he stopped drinking this, he stopped going to the bar, he stopped eating meat, he stopped the having sex, everything. He said he became crazy.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhu.
Related with the point of Emil, that even in Kurukshetra,
Kurukshetra.
when Krishna himself in presence gave the Bhagavad Gita, there were persons that didn't take it. So what to speak now, So we could give the book, they could read, but still they don't accept.
But the books are so potent. Even if somebody touches the book, they become purified. That Prabhupada was mentioning. Even if they don't read it, even if they keep it at home, they become, the house becomes.
Yesterday we were in the metro, and then I meet one guy. He's coming off the plane. He's from Italy, and then it was very nice, but they didn't want to take the book. And then I told him, if you touch this book, you'll make spiritual advancement. And he touched it. It's so funny.
That's it.
It was like,
And what he told you, what she told you.
I didn't want to take the book. But
One did not take any here, and he made cake. So I went to preach to him. I don't know, I don't know if it was India. And I tried to explain to him, what is yoga, what is bhakti yoga. He said, I don't want bhakti yoga, I want yoga. He was angry. I said, you can maybe at least let me go preach.
Yes.
Yesterday happened something weird to me distributing books. Because one guy and I was explaining, these books are about yoga, meditation, different kind of meditation, how to practice this meditation, also the relation of the soul with the body and the mind. And and I say different energies in the universe. He was, okay, interesting. And he asked me, but I don't have cash. I told him, I have for the square for the cars. And he took the wallet, and before to take the car, he asked me, but what's the background, what's the line? It's Hindu, is what, I say, no, it's universal, because the main thing that is explained is that we are souls, and the soul is not Christian, it's not Muslim, it's not Hindu. The soul is universal. And he was like thinking. I said, okay, I'm gonna pass. Right away, he changed I don't know what happened. Something in his mind that changed like this. I don't know, very weird. I was, okay, I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what was happening in that moment. Yeah, very weird.
There is there's how the Maya sometimes plays,
It's interesting because it's like, it's not a one one-size-fits-all. Because sometimes they don't want to hear it's a religion because they don't like religion. But sometimes they do want to hear it's a religion because they'll think, oh, then it's a bona fide like process, and there's so many people practicing, and it's been happening for a long time. If you just say, oh, it's like a new movement, they'll be like, oh, I'm like, so it's very weird. It's like we never know what exactly they want to hear.
No, I don't say new movement, but yeah, I understand.
Even in India, there's Gauranga Prabhu was mentioning one story. This boy, he will not take the books. Okay, fine. Take some prasadam. He said, no, I don't want to take prasadam. And he was surprised. Prasadam is food, what? If I take prasadam, my hair cell will be like yours, I'm afraid, So he knew that the effect of prasadam is to purify. So he didn't want to take prasadam because the prasadam may change his hairstyle.
All of a sudden you have no more hair on your head.
Okay, can I give it to you, back to you?
Vanchakalpatarvyascha kipasindhivya cha patitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Takoti Vaishnavindaki Jai Jai